In 2011, IBM's Watson dominated the quiz show Jeopardy! Millions of viewers watched the machine dismantle two human champions, while the software's creators observed the board from the sidelines. Public expectations for the system were immediate. This machine was perceived as the arrival of a cognitive intelligence capable of curing cancer and modernizing the messy world of global medicine. But the internal record of that medical deployment is found in this 2016 University of Texas System Audit Office report. 5 years after the televised victory, the clinical oncology pilot at the MD Anderson Cancer Center was quietly shuttered. The audit details 12 contract extensions and a $62.1 million loss without the delivery of a functional system. The architecture that possessed the cumulative digitized knowledge of humanity failed to parse a routine hospital text file. The televised victory relied on a highly controlled, closed-loop environment. Beneath the marketing, the system suffered from severe mechanical and logical rigidities that doomed its real-world application from the start. The Power 7 microarchitecture was the product of a $244 million Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency contract. IBM engineered these chips specifically to push military supercomputing into the petascale era. This schematic illustrates the sheer physical scale of that military hardware. To answer trivia questions, IBM deployed 90 specialized servers, executing 2,880 simultaneous processor threads. The cluster generated so much heat it required a dedicated refrigeration unit during filming. That massive computational load introduced a critical data bottleneck. Relying on the mechanical spinning disks of standard hard drives would incur too much physical delay to meet the 3-second response time required by the game's rules. To bypass this physical constraint, engineers loaded the system's entire 200 million-page database, a pristine offline copy of encyclopedias and reference texts, directly into 16 terabytes of volatile RAM. Every necessary data point was held internally for instantaneous access. The machine did not comprehend language through probabilistic neural weighting. It was an industrial-scale thermodynamic engine executing 80 trillion floating-point operations per second to overpower the physics of data retrieval. Human competitors, like 74-game champion Ken Jennings, possessed an encyclopedic recall of their own. The broadcast framed the match as a pure battle of intellect. But biological neurology operates under strict physical laws. When a human champion processes a question and decides to answer, an electrical signal must travel down their nervous system to their hand. That biological reflex limits their reaction time to roughly 190 milliseconds. IBM circumvented this entirely. They engineered a physical plexiglass cylinder housing an industrial solenoid, a customized metal thumb designed to mechanically strike the buzzer. This data visualization compares the two infrastructures in real time. On the left, the human biological pulse tracks toward the 190 millisecond threshold. On the right, Watson's electrical signal travels down a copper wire, actuating the heavy industrial solenoid in 5 to 10 milliseconds. This mechanical latency bypass rendered the human champion's biological reflexes statistically irrelevant. Regardless of who arrived at the answer first, the solenoid's actuation speed guaranteed the machine would secure the board. Winning the match required a heavy industrial piston to leverage raw physics, moving faster than the limits of human neurology. That mechanical advantage evaporated when the technology migrated from an isolated soundstage to a hospital network. Watson's internal software, known as the DeepQA architecture, relied heavily on rigid, rule-based processing. During its oncology training, the algorithms were fed perfectly formatted, synthetic patient cases, curated by elite doctors in highly controlled environments. Real-world medicine is messy. Frontline oncologists use colloquial shorthand, fragmented grammar, and localized medical abbreviations to quickly document patient symptoms in digital files. This animation represents the collision within Watson's data pipeline. The Apache UMI architecture was built to ingest pristine, geometrically identical data structures. But when the Cancer Center upgraded its electronic health records to the proprietary Epic system software, a torrent of chaotic shorthand slammed into the parsers. Rule-based symbolic reasoning requires meticulously clean inputs. When forced to interpret the grammatical entropy of tired doctors navigating a massive enterprise software migration, the parallel algorithms failed to extract actionable context, and the system shattered. IBM leadership eventually invested $4 billion into the Watson Health division, funding acquisitions and aggressive marketing that bypassed standard IT governance. They attempted to force a rigid appliance into a probabilistic enterprise environment, assuming raw computing power could overcome the friction of clinical reality. This $4 billion architecture was ultimately defeated by an incompatible text file. Raw processing power and isolated intelligence are useless if they cannot survive the physical friction and data integration realities of modern infrastructure.